Hey, everybody. Welcome to the More Gems Show. I'm Steve Moriarty, your host. And with me tonight are my two sons, Michael, who's in charge of this production. Hello, Mike.
Hey, what's up, Steve? What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing in the chat? See, there's a lot of people telling where they're from. Love to see it. And if you haven't posted, let us know where you're watching from.
And Jeffrey. Hi, Jeff.
How are we doing, everybody? Good. It's been a while. I think we usually come live. I think the first week. We wait a week.
Yeah, we're on this weird schedule now. It used to be the
Two
first.
sons screwed it up. And
Yeah. So we're kind of pushed back, but we try and keep you all informed when we're going to do it. So
Yeah.
And
I'm happy to be back. Seeing everybody here tonight. We got a lot of people. We got Eileen, of course, is back. Hey, Eileen.
Hey, Eileen.
Hashtag no oven tonight.
No oven tonight.
That's me. Phil's back. All right.
Hey, Phil.
Phil, hopefully he'll grab some good stones tonight. We got a lot of people coming from all over the U.S., all over the world.
Yeah, look at this chat going.
We got Scott coming from the Netherlands.
Nice.
Steve in
back.
Alabama. Sean in Seattle. We got John in Nova Scotia.
Welcome, John.
We got MGCL, Gem Cutting and Learning from Madagascar.
Nice.
One of Steve's
they're
favorite
back.
countries.
Yeah, they're from what's the town that?
Tana?
I don't know. It was. We're always talking about it. Every show, I think it pops up. I'm sure they'll type it up in chat.
Yep. Colleen, Bahamas. That'd be nice out there. People from Florida. Got Max is back. Yeah, great show tonight. If you are watching for your first time or if you log into YouTube or your Google accounts, you can get part of the lively chat that's going on tonight. And there you can ask questions and chat with everybody else that loves jewelry and gems as well. So definitely jump into that chat and ask away. But what's been going on the last month? I don't know. What have we been doing?
Well, I took a week's vacation, which was good. I needed it. Yeah, Tucson kind of wore me out. Tucson and Hong Kong. And just been really busy trying to get some cutting done. And, we've got a lot of great stones tonight.
We're preparing for Mother's Day, too. So we do a lot of mother's jewelry. Or family jewelry, which is basically our custom jewelry designed around birthstones. So my cousin Chris, he does a lot of custom designs for our mothersfamilyrings.com website. So if you're in the market for a family ring or pendant, we do those as well, which is on mothersfamilyrings.com.
I just popped in a link into the chat, but yeah, that's... You haven't seen some of the mother's rings. I mean, it's the quality is there, just like the gemstones we have. They're far beyond anything else that's out there, and so amazing new styles we've added lately too. And when you go in there, new function we added this year is as you are loading up, like you can choose all the different stones that you want. It will, if you scroll up or whatever, if you're on mobile or on desktop, it's going to change the. It's going to actually set the stones so you can see what color each stone is and in the order. So
see what 6 different colored stones looks like together.
Yes,
you can rearrange it
really
if necessary.
Allows you to customize it. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a cool feature, and we've been trying to get to that for quite some time. And
yep.
So should help. Help you anyway in deciding what looks right to you.
Okay. And we notice people are asking about the echo and everything. We try to stop that from happening. But is it Michael, because I come up on yours?
It could be mine. So we've got 3 mics.
Yeah.
So, Jeffrey, his
we do have
voice will
3
pick
mics.
up on my mic.
Jeffrey Michael, and Stephen Michael.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But
if we have any issue during the show, it's usually microphones. So.
Okay. Yeah, and so I try and turn down our gain, but we got to talk right into the mic, and sometimes Jeffrey or Steve or I'll forget that. So, but if it's a constant thing, just let me know. I really appreciate that, because we want to have good audio for you guys as well.
Yep.
So just let us know.
Yeah. So thank you. It looks like everything's better now. So thanks again, everybody, for letting us know. But I guess for all the new people, like I talked to you about chat, but tonight how it's gonna go is. Do I usually talk about this now, or we talk about news? Am I good with talking about this now? Okay. All right. For all the new people and for all the people that have seen the show, just as a recap. So this show tonight, we just released a selection of gemstones, many of which Steve Moriarty, Master Gem Cutter, right here, has cut. If you go to MoreGems.com, which you can see in the banner below, and you click on the banner when you get to the site, it'll be very obvious. It's going to take you to a whole collection of gemstones that we're going to be displaying tonight. All those gemstones tonight are 15% off the price that's listed. It'll automatically discount it in the cart for you. So as soon as you add it to the cart, it's 15% off. And then you can check out, and you can use credit card. We have a firm financing. We also have PayPal. We do offer layaway, but you have to call tomorrow, and we cannot hold stones. Every stone tonight is one of a kind. So if you do like it, I would get on it, because many times, people try to go after a stone and it's already sold. Stones are even sold before we talk about them. So I would stress if you to browse the selection at MoreGems.com and see if there's anything you like. Also tonight, there's going to be some hidden stones. Hidden stones are ones that we don't release until we talk about them. Those are going to be 25% off. We'll let you know when that happens. Lastly, there is a blue light special. Blue light special. Mike, we got any blue light special effects?
What's that?
There we go. Blue light special. Blue light. Oh, it's going to show the stone there, huh? Yeah. So that'll be the blue light special. Those will be 33% off with coupon code BLUE33, and we'll let you know about that. So we're going to get into it. If you have any questions about the stones that Steve's showing, you want to see it on a finger, or you want to see it again, just type it up in chat. And any questions that you have about the stone, ask away. This is the time to do it. Hopefully that helps. Okay. One last thing. All the gemstones that we cut tonight, we do, our specialty is custom jewelry design. So if there's any stones that you like tonight, you don't have to just buy it and just worry about what you're going to do with it. We'd love to work with you to create a custom design along with that stone. So,
yeah, my nephew Christopher Michael is our custom designer, and he does a great job. And you get to see it as a computer render, and pretty much if you like it as the render, it is what you're going to get. In the end, unlike in the past when we used to carve wax, there was a lot of changes, but a computer render is accurate, very accurate to what the final piece is. So one thing I want to mention is, the prices you see on here, like the appraised price, that's based on this gem guide, which is a market-driven independent pricing guide, where they go to Tucson Gemshow and many of the gem shows around the world and check what the wholesale dealers are getting for stones. And they produce this guide that's used in the trade by appraisers and buyers alike. And it'll list many stones in here and give a price from low quality to high and for different sizes. And this is what we've used to base our appraised price on it. And then our price is what the price is online. And there's no coupon code needed anymore. So when you order, there'll be a 15% discount on this price. That's our online price.
Talk about that, Jeff. How they just need to add to cart. I'm assuming you did.
I did. Yeah. In the past, we used to do coupon codes, but we found this much easier. So you don't use a coupon code at all.
Except for hidden gems.
Hidden gems, which you'll mention later.
Yeah.
But for most of the stones on the show tonight, you just find them on MoreGems.com, add them to the cart, and 15% will automatically be taken off that price. And then we offer free shipping.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, let's get to it. So the first stone up is small, but pretty incredible for its size. The depth of color of this stone, known as Santa Maria color, is not only rare in bigger stones, but to get it in such a small stone is very, very unusual. As this is going around, you'll see a little line in the culet of this stone, which I noticed just before the show, and I've repaired it. And so that little line is no longer there. But it's a beautiful color and an 81 point aquamarine. This comes from Madagascar. Madagascar is well known as one of the best sources for aquamarines. This stone is fully natural color, no treatments, and just intense, So the appraised price is $445. Suppose I should show it, huh? You can see how deep the color is on this gem. And price online is $300, and with the 15% off, it's $255.
Don't forget to show these on the hand.
Ah, yes. I did bring Hannah. So, although it's small, I mean, you can make a nice ring out of this. Or it can be a really nice accent stone for something. Well. I can get the stone to stay in place. Aquamarine from the Santa Maria mine in Minas Gerais, Brazil.
Well, this one's not from, it's just got that color, right?
Oh, yes. Thank you. This one's from Madagascar, but the original Santa Maria mine is Brazil. And like many things, like Burmese ruby, things tend to, if they have the same color, they take the name of the original source. Up next. Oh, that's next. I thought we had... You confused me. That's okay, Mike.
No, you want to show the blue light special?
That's okay. We can do this one, then we can do it. All right. Next stone is stone I cut. It's a carat 25 trillion pink sapphire. This comes again from Madagascar, and I got this while I was traveling to Madagascar. This rough is from 2007, and I still have quite a bit to cut, but they're small, and I have a lot of bigger stones to cut, and I like cutting big stones, but occasionally I got to get to this material because it has really good value, particularly natural color pink sapphires. Their value is, appraised value will be about twice what the heated stone will be. So this is a natural color from Madagascar, weighs 1.25 carat. Appraised value is $34.40. Our price online, $12.50. And with the 15% off, it's $1,083 or $8.50 a carat. Now, as you look at this, I mean, you do see these little powdery looking inclusions, which tells you it's from Ilakaka, Madagascar. It's just the identifying characteristic for that mine. But when you see this in person, you will not see those. Under the camera, you'll see them, but they are too small to be seen visually without bright lights and a close-up camera. So
how much of this material you got left? Because you've had this for quite a while. You must have bought a pretty decent parcel of this.
Yeah.
rough.
It was. I used to travel with a friend, Jim Fiebig, and we bought this material from. His name is Jean Noel. He used to own Bank Swiss, which was one of the biggest sapphire mines in Ilakaka. Really nice guy, and hopefully I'll get back to see him again sometime. He no longer owns, to my understanding, that he no longer owns that mine, but it was one of the biggest producing mines in that area. And at that time, the sapphires from Ilakaka really changed the whole market for sapphires because there was so much material that came out. Particularly in the early 2000s, late 1990s to early 2000s. It changed the whole market for sapphires.
Yeah, I remember seeing the photos that you took, the ways they mined these stones, where they had big open pits that they kind of tiered down into a small, what'd you say? It was like maybe I don't know, 15 by 15 foot at the bottom.
No, it was bigger. It looked small, but
Yeah.
it was maybe 50 by
Okay.
80.
It was a big hole.
Well, when you look that far down, it was about 60 feet down, and all dug by hand.
Okay.
It was dug by a line of miners. There'd be 50 of them in a line, and they'd take a shovelful and move it up to the next guy. They'd move it 2 feet, and the next guy would move it 2 feet, and they'd just do an assembly line. And they produce this huge hole. It's just amazing. I think we have probably pictures on the website of this mine. And just for humans to move that amount of material it's mind-boggling.
And then the other way was the 2 or 3 man system, where they dig a small hole just straight down,
Right.
and then once they got to the sapphire level, they'd kind of dig out to where they felt comfortable.
That it didn't cave in on.
Yes,
Yes.
right. And then they'd pull each bag up by dirt. But I remember seeing that they had like just a rope and basically on 2 sticks, and they'd
Yep.
lower the guy down. That's
Yeah, and they were down
Crazy.
60 feet,
yeah.
And risky. And boy, that if you look at the terrain, you can still look at the area around Ilakaka and see all the holes. There's just thousands of them. If you walk through there at night, you have no chance, because you'd hit one of those holes eventually and drop down 60 feet because they didn't fill any of them back in. And there's literally thousands of them. So, all right, price on this one is $34.40. Our price $12.50. I guess I went through this before.
Show it on the hand.
Yeah, I could do that. Find my hand.
There you go.
So again, not big, but it's I don't know, is this 6, almost 7 millimeters, so a fairly good sized trillion. Again, really nice ring. And nice thing about sapphire in a ring, it's very, very durable, particularly stones that aren't treated. Once you heat treat, particularly blue sapphires, the temperature that they heat them, things have changed lately, but the temperatures they used to heat them at cause the stone to be a little more friable, and it would chip easily around the facet edges. Whereas a natural unheated stone would have less of that issue. So. All right. Welcome, More Gems shoppers.
No, this is a sale.
Oh, I'm confused.
Yes, we had a sale. So,
Cool.
Excuse me. Gage, I think it's pronounced. He shopped ahead, but he picked up the Square Brilliant Swiss Blue Opaz 7.35 carats.
Yeah,
I
cool.
think that's coming up. We haven't talked about it yet, but as I said in the beginning, you can go through there and shop early. I know there's a few viewers that are fond of doing that. So
Yeah, that's a stone that I don't usually cut blue topaz that size, because the value is really barely enough to cover the cutting costs. But I'd cut that for somebody. They wanted to do a ring, and for some reason he didn't do it. And so I ended up with a blue topaz in a size that I usually wouldn't. Blue topaz 20 karat plus are worthwhile cutting, but smaller ones, once you put 5 hours into a stone, you got to make so much money on them to make it worthwhile. But, it's a beauty for sure. So,
and Gage, I think if that's how it's pronounced, yeah,
at least one pair anyway. So we had another sale.
got a sale. Susan picked up that Trilliant Pink Sapphire.
Oh, cool.
Just talked about. Nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Susan, let us know what you're going to do with it. Are you going to have us ship it to you. You're going to do a custom ring, pendant. Yeah, definitely let us know. Again, as I said earlier, if you want to, do something with it before you receive it, you can give us an email and we can start helping you design something around it.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. All right, and while we're going through this, I want to show you a few things that are coming up in the coming months to be cut. Here's one I've avoided for how many years, Michael?
Is that an Ethiopian emerald?
Was this Ethiopian? No, I don't think this
Oh.
was Ethiopian.
Oh, okay. Zambian?
Offhand, I can't tell you. So included, of course, but all emeralds are. And I just have to figure out where to get the clear stone. It's a nice size piece, weighs 7.4 carat. Probably going to cut maybe a 2 to 3 carat, depending on how I deal with the inclusions that are in it. One thing you have to keep in mind, sometimes those inclusions, which almost all emeralds are filled. So after you cut them, you have them, currently it's filled with epoxy. They used to use oil, but oil only lasts a few years before it dries out, whereas the epoxy is permanent. So you will get higher clarity because of that. And sometimes it's remarkable, the change in clarity. I sent a stone once out to be filled, and I told him, well, insure it for a few thousand. And he filled it, and it came so remarkably clear that he said, maybe 30,000. So that's the kind of change, but that's what you deal with in emeralds. All emeralds are treated that way. Although I do own a couple that are completely natural, untreated Ethiopian opal or emeralds, but that is not the norm. So that's something coming up once I get the urge to struggle through an emerald and try and figure out how to get the best stone out of it. It's just very, very difficult material to deal with. I've cut maybe a few dozen emeralds, but it is definitely a learning curve that's not easy. All right, next stone up.
Gem, definitely.
Okay, one of our hidden gems,
All
or
right.
in this case, hidden gems.
Hidden gems. Okay,
Can you
yeah, give me a
change
sec here.
to P?
So the hidden gems, everybody, as I explained earlier, these are gems that don't necessarily show up on the page if you've been looking for them. We do this because they're a special value, and I'm going to add it right now. So if you're on that page on MoreGems.com, where all the stones are listed, if you refresh the page, it'll show up right at the top with 25% off, and all you have to do is add coupon code RARE25.
So these are blue zircons. They come from Cambodia. This particular material, these weigh 3.3 carats. The camera tends to split the blues and greens. They really are a mix of blue and green. You don't see those blue flashes. What you're going to see is if you mix those colors, it's what you get from blue zircon. Slightly greenish blue is what makes blue zircon so unique. Gives them a beautiful look that's different than blue topaz and aquamarines, although sometimes aquamarines do have green in them. So these weigh 3.30 carats, appraised value of $1,980. Our price online is $690. Is that right? 518. 25. And with the 25% off, 518 that seems 690 times 5. Yeah, 5. Okay. $518 for the pair. You know, and these, I'm sure, yeah, they appraise pretty high. $1,980. You know, our source for blue zircon is really, really good, both from Malawi and from Cambodia. So a nice pair of blue zircons make a great pair of earrings. Would probably be the best place for them. We've done some really nice two-stone rings that this would be unique in. So you do have options. Now we got a sale.
We no longer have options.
They no longer have options. Well, one person has options.
Yes, Martha
Yeah.
picked up the pair of the blue
All right,
zircons.
Martha.
Excited to see what
Cool.
you do with them, Martha.
Yeah.
Thank you, Martha.
This is Martha O. And
Yeah,
we got a
those,
couple that
particularly the size of them, the color is just intense. All right, give you another little preview. Here's a Mexican fire opal. Just really intense orange on this stone. I had two of them. I cut one, and it was in a previous show, and it did sell. So we'll
Are you gonna
hopefully
facet
get
that
to this.
one?
Yeah, I'm gonna facet.
Okay, no, not a cabochon.
No, this stuff's best faceted
Okay.
for sure. Yeah. All right, next up is an opal. You know, we recently had what do we call it, opal drop.
Yep.
Where we, I've been collecting opals for years, and finally I got them out, and we put about 30 opals, you think?
Could have been around
We're
there.
about 30 opals out, and it was one of the best sales we've had. But I kept out 5 or 6 of the really best stones, and that's what you're going to see tonight. You know, these are the best of the best. This is a 13 karat 69 black willow opal. You know, they're a little different than Australian blacks, but they're still black. I mean, the body color is very dark. This one's quite dark. And the colors are intense. You know, I was going to work with the camera and lighten these colors up a little bit, because I said, you know, that can't be that good. Sometimes with opals, the camera will make them better than what they actually are, sometimes worse. But I looked at it and I looked at the stone. I go, that's what it is. It's the colors are that intense. And so much color, you know, again, all the colors of the rainbows, and each color is just intense, you know, and the reds are extremely red, you know, and you get those blues, violets, indigos, you know, and the black base just helps the colors stand out. And when you see it, I mean, this is pretty much what the colors are. This is accurate, not enhanced by the camera.
Colleen was wondering if there's any special care for opals that you have to take.
Yeah, these are hydrophane, so you try to avoid getting different chemicals, oils, and perfumes. You know, when you wear it, you don't spray your hairspray on it, and you know, you want to keep it as oil-free as possible. If you get them wet, they'll lose their color, but as soon as they dry out, it'll come back. You know, you just don't want oils. You know, keep in mind medicines are oils, and you know, that's the one thing you have to keep in mind with these is just keep them clean, keep the oils, and you know, hairsprays, perfumes are things you want to avoid getting on them. So they do have drawbacks, but all opals do, you know, even the Australian opals. And an Australian black opal like this would be, I don't know, 20,000, 30,000 it would be very, very expensive. So this one appraised $34.20, which I don't really have a basis for appraising it. If I went by black opal in the guide, this again would be a $30,000 opal or whatever, But our price online is $24.60, and with the 15% off, it is $2,091. It's $153 a carat. And this literally is just the best of what comes out of Ethiopia. And blacks are so few. You're going to see a lot of blacks out there online, but they're almost all of them are what's called smoked. They're going to look like this, but they started out white, and they create a smoke that is able to get into this opal, and it turns them black. It is temporary. It will fade, and it's just not a black opal. And there is tons of it out there because it does pretty remarkable things with white opals, turning them to make them look black. The honest people will tell you they're smoked, but there's many dishonest dealers out there that just sell it as a black opal. This one is natural, untreated.
Can you show the size?
Oop, sure. So good size pendant. This is almost an inch long.
Holly wanted to know, why are opals from Australia so expensive?
It's a good question. They always have been. The Australians typically are very negative about Ethiopian opals. The hydrophane character affects their price somewhat, but the quantity of material is mainly what affects the price. The Australian opal, I don't know if they've dropped in price at all, but they are significantly more. The white opals, the top of the white Australian opals is at least 10 times what the Ethiopian is. And the blacks are probably 20, 30, 40 times what the Ethiopians are. Yeah. They've got it for years, and and the best of Australian is pretty remarkable. The best Australian black opal is incredible. This is great, but the best of what comes out of Australia is pretty amazing. I don't know it's better than this, but but the best of it is 20,000-30,000 a carat, and can be more than that. So these are the bargain in the world.
Max wants to know if you can see it on the hand.
Sure. My hand or Hannah? You don't like my hand, huh? Okay.
That'd be a big. We've made big rings like that.
Yeah.
Pendant would be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we've made big rings.
Yeah. Yeah, you could wear it for sure.
Be a
As long
showstopper.
as your mind is good at wearing a big ring, this would not be too big for some people, too big for many, but it's more fun to wear as a ring, but you have more risks as a ring to damage, because there isn't an opal on the planet that will take really hard blows. Although the Ethiopian opal is considered the toughest of all the opals. Can I move on now? Okay. We have a sale.
We got a sale. Caesar scrolled all the way down the list, and he shopped early, as you can do, and he picked up the pear-shaped Spessartite garnet. I'm a big fan of spessartite, Caesar. I always forget to bring it. I live like an hour and a half away, but I brought my men's
All right.
spessartite ring, which I absolutely love this thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Was yours Madagascar? And I think
I'm
the
not-
one
you'd
he
know
bought
better
is
than I would.
Tanzanian.
But man,
And-
if you want like a cool men's ring, oh, I love this thing. I got so many compliments on it.
And the one good thing that you're going to find when you get this stone is what shows up in the pictures doesn't show up on hand. I mean, it's obviously included, but there's so much in there, that real fine, dusty looking stuff you can't hide from the camera. But when you look at it when you have it in your hand, you don't see that. So it actually is a beautiful spessartite garnet, and the color, that comes from Tanzania, and it is unique to Tanzania, the Fanta orange color. All right, that said, here's another future gem, maybe, or we may. I mean, it's a nice enough crystal. Does have some damage, so I will. Is it damage, or I'm not sure if that's damage or just something natural. Looks like damage, so I'll feel better about cutting it. But it's a really, really nice bicolor, clean, good
Yeah,
colors.
This one I thought about putting on mineral mic, but it was a nice clean gem. It'd be great for your fantasy machine because it is kind of shallow.
Yeah,
So,
maybe we'll
I
wait
think
for
it's a
that.
good candidate to do
Yeah.
some fantasy
Yeah,
cutting.
yeah, that'd be cool.
And I don't know if you want to show everybody your new equipment. You haven't gotten to it yet. I know we keep talking about how we're going to get to it, but time is limited sometimes.
Yeah. Well, a quick pitch on the, I do represent Ultratech, and I do think it is the current machine to buy.
Steve, you'll have to talk into the mic a little bit.
Oops. As I said, I do represent Ultratech, and what I consider, this is the machine to buy. I have several machines. I have 3 different manufacturers, machines that I own that have pretty much worn out, and there's no fixing them because the companies are out of business. So that is a big issue in the lapidary business, because getting parts, unless you're a machinist, you're not going to get parts for these older machines. And all these companies, they try to build machines, but come to realize in the end, there's really not that big a market to keep a good sales that you can keep in business. And all these companies have failed. The good thing about Ultratech, they're a big company that they don't rely on faceting machines for their business. They manufacture scientific machines, and this is a secondary, I won't say secondary, but it is not what they rely on to make all their money. They build a great machine, as you can see from the stones I cut, and they're there to help you when you need help. They've been around for more than 55 years, and they're likely going to be around when you need your equipment refurbished or you need parts for your machines. And that's a critical thing in this business because, it's not an easy thing to rebuild these machines. So when you need parts, it's important to have a company that's still there. Ultratech builds several types of machines. I have the Ultratech V5, which is the faceting machine, and right behind me is the fantasy machine that very soon I will get to fantasy cutting. We're going to do that here in the next couple of weeks. I know I said last show that I was going to get started, but I took some time off and really didn't have time to do that. But I'm excited to get started fantasy cutting. So if you're interested in a machine, I'm the reason that you bought it, let Ultratech know. You order direct from Ultratech. But once you get your machine, I'll send you out a nice piece of rough that's going to, most of the rough I've sent out will cut stones that are $500 and more. And some of the amethysts probably would cut 20 karat stones. They're $1,000 stones. So let them know that I sent you. I'll get a commission and I'll send you a nice piece of rough. So.
So send in the ultralap too, or the.
Yeah. I send you a lap that'll help you cut. If I send amethyst, which I'm currently sending amethyst, I'll send you the ultra laps, which are what I'm currently recommending using to polish amethyst, because amethyst is a tougher thing to polish, but the ultra laps work. And I'll be making a new video soon because I've got some new techniques using the ultra laps that have worked real well for me. So, all right, there's a sales pitch, and let's move on.
So the next one, this one has been sold, I believe.
All right, I'll show it real quick. I wish they had higher value. I'd love to cut more of them. Although Topaz is not an easy stone to cut, particularly bigger ones. I'll show you a piece of rough that I was going to cut. What did I do with it? I don't think it'll work in the other camera. This is a piece of topaz rough. You can see the crystal shape. It's kind of water worn. But this thing is clean, and I was going to cut it down this axis. It's 1,000 carat piece of rough. It'll cut light blue. I think last show I had the other topaz I cut 200 carat maybe. But oh boy, what a job. And it kind of put this one on hold till I'm up for abuse. Because this will cut, I'll bet 400 carat, maybe 500 carat. A big square or something similar. Can't use all that depth. But you can see there's color in it, and it'll cut a nice pale blue. Would be remarkably brilliant. But this thing would take me 30, 40 hours to cut. Just polishing those big facets is really, really a chore. I'll make Michael do it.
MBF said, cut it.
I'd like to. And I probably will someday. Assuming I live that long.
Quick question, Steve.
Yeah.
Max wanted to know that big opal that we showed earlier.
Uh-huh.
Do you think we could make a bolo tie out of that?
I don't know why not.
Where we done?
Can we, Mike?
I'm
We're not sure exactly how to make a
bolo tie
bolo.
is like,
It's got a
the
slip
stone at
for the
top,
leather to go through
Yeah.
it. And
sure if Chris can cast it.
because it looks like it's kind of a bezel at the top and then
yeah.
hangs down. That'd be cool. I don't think we've ever done an opal like that.
Yeah, whether we bezel it or not would be the question.
Yeah.
Bezeling a big opal like that is not an easy thing.
No.
They would probably typically have a bezel, but you could give a metal look around it and maybe prong set it. And so yeah, it's I don't know that it's any harder than anything else. It's just having a sample to know how to build it. Because I don't think we've ever built a bolo. I have to ask Chris. He may have sometime. Sure, we can do it. All right, up next. This is a gray spinel. Showing it's also got some green in it. This is more what you'll see in daylight. I don't think it's quite this blue, but it's definitely towards the blue in daylight. And in incandescent, it goes more green. It's got a little more gray to it. We're calling it a gray spinel. So it's an 87 trillion. Comes from Tanzania. Not treated. Praised for $540. Our price online, $395. And with the 15% off, it is $336. Gray spinels, we've done remarkably well with it.
I know I bring this up every show. I just love gray spinel.
Yeah. And
If you're going to do another mother's ring for me, if you're going to do another men's ring for me, I'd like to do a gray spinel one. I think that'd be
yeah.
cool.
They're pretty durable too. You might want to mention.
Yeah, it's a real tough stone. It's hard, very durable stone, so you can put it in a ring and really not worry about damaging it. I mean, you can damage anything, including a diamond, but these are difficult to damage. They just have a really good hardness, and brilliance is exceptional. And right now, this is a hot gem in the market. As I've said over and over, it has never been my favorite, but I know when something's marketable that get over it, because, people really love this material. I go back into a time when very specific colors were saleable and other colors weren't, but the whole world market has changed and people are into colors that were never popular before. And you got to live and learn, and that's what I'm doing. And so we're buying spinels regularly.
And Steve, I'm just going to pop in. I saw a question come up on the chat about Ethiopian opals. So somebody asked, do you have to keep Ethiopian opals dry or wet to keep them from damage? So there's multiple different types of opal coming out of Ethiopia. The opals that we're showing tonight are the jewelry grade opals. They're the hydrophane opals from Ethiopia. And these you want to keep dry. You don't want to get them wet. You don't want to get any chemicals on them because these particular opals absorb the water or the oils. The water will be released. If it absorbs oils, the oils don't come out. There's also what the Ethiopians call crystal opal, which is a non-hydrophane opal. It's the really clear material. They typically sell that wet, and that has to stay wet. Otherwise, it'll develop these small fractures all over the surface of it. So those ones are not jewelry grade. They're just specimen grade, and you have to keep those wet. Otherwise, they will develop cracks. So if you've seen the video of Steve cutting that giant opal, I think it was 294 carats. That is a non-stable, non-hydrophane opal that has to remain in water. So it's more of a collector gem that is just for display. When all of the opals that we're showing tonight in this show are the hydrophane material, which is stable in open air that you do not want to get wet or get oils in.
And as he mentioned, if you get them wet, it's not an issue. It's just
Right.
You lose the color. I wore one to Tucson and was all excited about my new ring, and I washed some clothes in the sink, and it was long enough that I lost the color for the rest of Tucson. It usually takes 2 or 3 days to dry them out, but sometimes can take a week to totally dry out. But once they dry out, the color comes back. It doesn't do any damage to it. It's just a temporary loss of color.
A couple questions here. Mr. Pillar wants to know, is the spinel coming from the same area which blue spinels from Tunduru, Tanzania come?
And a lot of the blues come from am I having Michael, the garnets, Mahange. They may come from Tunduru also, but Mahange has been producing not only the pink spinels, but also the blue spinels. And I would guess that is the source of these, although I don't know that for a fact. That's where it came from. Could be Tunduru. I'm not familiar with the material come from Tunduru, but I don't doubt it because so many things do. So,
all right, one other question. Vicky wants to know, what causes an Ethiopian opal to turn yellow?
What color?
What causes an Ethiopian opal?
I have no idea. Some of the real transparent stones turn more orange. I've had that issue probably in my time in business maybe a dozen times. To this date, I've replaced them, but it is something that happens. They don't lose their color. The body color turns orange. Maybe I haven't really seen them turn yellow, but orange definitely. So no idea what causes it. We've talked about sending pieces to GIA, see if they understand it, see if there's any reversal. We talk about oils going into these, and I'm sure there's a way of reversing that. They're like a sponge, and you should be able to clean it out. I just haven't taken the time to try and figure it out myself, but I haven't heard of anybody successfully doing that yet.
All right, last question.
Inquisitive group today.
Yes. MGCL Madagascar Gemstone Cutting and Learning. Have you ever used a handpiece machine?
I have not. I don't. I should sometime, but you get used to using one piece of equipment, and that's what you stick with, and you're hesitant to move on. As with this fantasy machine behind me, I've procrastinated learning something completely new. I've got faceting down, and now I've got to learn something new. But that's coming because I've always wanted to do it, and But have I ever wanted to use a hand piece? The same thing works. It's just you don't have a mast, and you're just using it on a flat plate, and you're setting the same angle and rotation. So there's not a whole lot difference. I'm sure I could quickly learn how to use a handpiece. And many people do, but here in the U.S., mostly mast machines are what people use.
And, if you're interested in seeing somebody from the U.S. who uses that, Justin Prim, he's also on YouTube and makes many videos using a handpiece. So that's somebody to look up.
Justin Prim, correct. Okay, up next. Come on, all these sales keep interrupting me.
I know. Okay, Mark, he shopped ahead. He picked up two, one, I'm guessing they're both Ethiopian opals, but one 6.96 carat and one 13.69 carat. So great looking opals.
Very cool.
Thank you, Mark.
Yes, all the opals on the show tonight are amazing. Yeah, like I said, they're the best of what I've had over the last. I've been doing Ethiopian opals for now 13 years, and these are the best of what I've ever bought. So,
you show the spinel on the hand?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
All right, up next. This is a citrine, believe it or not.
This one's sweet. We haven't seen this type of
What?
material
That's
in
a
a long time.
citrine?
This is citrine.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't see these before the show, everybody. So, wow.
This we bought,
That's cool.
how many years ago?
It's been quite a while since we've seen material like this.
4 years, 5 years.
Right.
Could be longer. I don't know.
It's
We
been a
bought, I only bought it once. I mean, my entire time in business, I've never seen this color other than this one time. And that's the case. I have so much rough. I'm just finally sitting down to cut it, and the timing's right. If these tariffs stay in, it's going to affect our business too. So I've got a lot of material to cut, so I can pretty much hold out for a few years, until everything settles down and we either get used to the prices or we go back, because most of the current tariffs are zero on both cut stones and rough, bringing them into the U.S. So it has not affected our market up to now. So we'll see what the future is. So, but like I say, I've got plenty of material to cut, and I'll be busy for a couple years before I run out of anything. Run out of fine gems to cut. So, but it could affect our trip there to Bangkok. We were talking about going to Bangkok in the fall, and hopefully things straighten out and we can still make that trip. But back to this citrine. It really is a unique and amazing color. You know, this one weighs 35.97 carats, cut into a step cut trillion. Just remarkable brilliance. The stone is heated, likely started out as an amethyst, and they heated it to a citrine color, is the typical availability of citrine. Praise price on this one, $3,110. Our price online, $1,675. And with the 15% off, it's $1,424, or $40 a carat. There is a piece of dust on the table there, not something you get. Beautiful gem, and like I say, it's a totally unique color. I think we must have cut 2 or 3 stones in the past in this color, but you know, because of the size of this, it just really increased the intensity of the color also.
I think somebody wants to see the back side of it.
So it's totally step cut,
Yep.
which is kind of your signature style, which it always looks great. I love the step cut trillions. I actually, few shows back, I had a amethyst that I did all step cut, which it was great. And later on, I cut a smaller one for my fiance because I liked it so much. So I think it just does really well, especially in quartz.
Definitely works. So big rock. Maybe too big for most as a ring, but there's somebody out there that would wear this.
Or that would be a crazy pendant too. That color's just, wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think
Hey,
that's
if everybody out there, if you like this cut and you like the show so far, please hit that little thumb for thumbs up right under the video. Michael gets upset if we don't hit 100, so make it easier on Michael. And if you could just hit that thumb to like the video if you like what you're seeing right now, we appreciate it.
All right, up next is an Amertrine. Definitely a unique material in the world. You know, this one weighs 45.64 carats. So it's a bicolor quartz. Comes from Brazil. The Anahi mine in Brazil is the only producing source. Well, that's not totally true. The only producing source for fine color ametrines. Brazil does produce some ametrine material. You have any crystals left?
I do not, no.
Yeah.
And, you know, I haven't seen much, you know, from going to the shows. I don't know if I've ever
I think that was the first time we saw it, wasn't it, when you bought those?
And I don't know whether that was even, there was any citrine in those.
I thought for sure there was.
I don't know. I'm thinking it was iron staining, but
Could be.
yeah, I haven't seen anything of significance that I can recall coming from Brazil. I know people have told me, you know, yeah, it comes out of there too, but I haven't seen it, and maybe I just didn't meet the right supplier, but most of it is Bolivia.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. So this is praise price $2,280, $1,190 is our price online, and the 15% off, it is $1,424 or $40 a carat. Is that right? Nope, wrong stone. That was the citrine. So it is sale price is $1,012 or $22 a carat. Oops. Guess I don't have to move. So nice size pendant stone. Our next stone, Tanzanite. This is just excellent brilliance on this stone. Partly, you know, it's not the darkest color, and the darkest colors, you know, although we consider them the best, you know, often they have some extinction, you know, because they're so deep a color that they don't produce full brilliance. That's not the case with this stone. This stone is fully brilliant.
You want to explain what extinction is?
Extinction is just, if you look at the picture of this stone, there's some black areas, you know, and as you rotate it, often those, in this case, as you rotate this stone, those black areas will turn light. But in deeper colored stone, there'll be black areas that are always black. You know, you get into some of the corners and things, and it just stays dark. You know, yes, you get beautiful color flashes out of it, but you don't have the brilliance like you would in this gem. So this gem just totally lively throughout the stone. Weighs 5.20 carats. VS2 clarity, so there'll be something very, very minor in it. Rating is 940 out of 1,000. And affected somewhat by the lighter color will bring down the quality rating a little bit. But, you know, I took this out in the sun today and just beautiful, beautiful gem. You know, I gained a lot more respect for this stone in daylight. So it is 30% blue, 70% violet. So a little more violet. I may want to review that. I need an incandescent bulb here. I'm thinking more like 40-60 is probably where it's at, but meaning 40% blue, 60% violet. You know, it's kind of a grading system I use, and it's although it is a help in knowing what the color is, you know, hitting it exact, you know, from day to day, you can see colors differently. So it's not an exact science, but I do everything I can to help you understand what the stone looks like. So the appraised price on this is $4,680. $2,790 is our price online. With the 15% off, it's $2,372 or $456 a carat. Nice ring size stone. As you can see, even in this, it's just fully brilliant. It's really a pretty stone. A little show and tell again. Once I get the desire to cab something, I'll get around to these. This is new material from Madagascar. These are chalcedonies, and they just really have nice color to them and should cab into a beautiful stone. I don't think I've seen any on the market, although, I mean, it was, where'd we got this in Hong Kong, I think.
Yes, we did.
And I would think it should be on the market. I'll have to look and see what the stuff actually cut to, because it's really pretty intense for chalcedonies. They would all match well enough. other than some of them are blue and some of them are violet. So really nice gems. Okay, next stone up is oh, it's not what I had as the next stone. Oh, there it is.
Do you sell the 696 opal?
Oh,
Yes.
okay. This one's sold, but you know, I'll show you some of the unique character of this stone. You know, this stone I was recutting because I was trying to get, there's a patch. I got most of it out. There, you can see a patch that although there's color behind it, it's kind of a little milky. But then I looked at the other side and I go, wow, you know, is the other side better than that side? And so I recut the back of the stone. And this is what I consider the front of the stone now. Although you got two sides that are just fantastic. This one's kind of more of a patchwork look. I mean, this is such a unique pattern in opal. Such great colors. And the reds in this are just really, really intense reds. All the colors are intense. But that said, that one's sold.
Yep. That is sold.
So moving along, next stone up is a sapphire from Montana.
Got a sale.
What this time?
Shopping ahead, but
Shopping
Moiza
ahead.
picked up the 22.70 carat Ethiopian opal.
Ah,
A lot of opal tonight.
yeah.
Amazing opal.
Well, it's been a opal month. You know, our opal drop was amazing. And, yeah, but the quality of these opals, it just, you know, they are amazing. You know, so you'll be thrilled with the stones. And, you know, it's fun to look at them in different lights. You know, even diffused light is good. Direct lighting is good. They kind of, they're different in every light you go to, but they're beautiful in every light you go to. You can't hardly find a light, including almost dark, that these don't look beautiful. All right. Sapphire from Montana. This one's kind of unique. Again, the camera wants to separate the colors a little more than they are, although this one is kind of, what are we going to call this? What's the Tanzanite? Is mermaid. Peacock. So kind of different colors throughout it. The yellow, there is a yellow core in this, you know, that does show up, not quite as dramatically as in the video, but it definitely is there. You know, it's something you see often in the Ethiopian, in the Madagascar opals or sapphires. So it weighs 1.60 carat. This stone has been heat treated. Praise is for $1,920. Our price online is $1,290. And with the 15% off, it's $1,097 or $686 a carat. I don't think this came from one of our trips. I think maybe one of the shows I bought this rough. Not positive. But Montana has been a very, very popular sapphire these days. I didn't show it on the hand. Almost verging on the gray spinel. Whoop. Ah, well. We'll find it. Okay, up next. This is a bicolor zircon. This comes from Malawi. Malawi produces bicolors seldom, but more often than any other source. I haven't seen bicolors from anywhere else. In this camera, it's not going to show as bicolor as it is, but nice long stone. And I think about Michael's fiance's ring. We did a small, long
The bicolor
bicolor tourmaline that it just made such a unique ring. I think it was diamonds around, diamonds down the shank,
No, just diamonds around.
just diamonds around it. You know, but that long length width is just something that just makes a unique looking ring. Yeah. I say the bicolor doesn't show up as dramatically in the camera here, but it definitely is a bicolor. So Malawi's been producing the blue zircons for, I don't know how long now, maybe 4 or 5 years, is as far as I've seen it. And they produce some really nice colors. And, you know, the big advantage to this material is it's cut more jewelry, what do I want to say? It's easier to set because it doesn't have the great depth that most of the material from Cambodia does. You know, this material is flatter, so it cuts more like what you would like to see set into a piece of jewelry, because the blue zircons that come from Cambodia, the rough is deep and they don't waste material, so you end up typically getting a stone that's almost as deep as it is wide. Whereas ideally you'd like maybe 70% of the width to 80%. But those are sometimes, we reject so much material that if it's 8 millimeters wide, it's 10 or 11 millimeters deep, you know, just like snow cones. The color is amazing, but it makes setting a little more difficult. So, you know, that's a nice thing about this Malawi material. The quality of the cutting is significantly better. Not that the Cambodian material is cut poorly, it's just cut deep. You know, and if you're custom making a mounting, it's not hard to deal with. But when you're trying to put it into a stock mounting, the Cambodian material is definitely a more of an issue. So this is Malawi zircon, measures 12 millimeters long, 3.8 wide. Just a unique shape, make a unique piece of jewelry. Let's see. I'll show you another piece of rough. This is something I will probably make a video of cutting this. Whoop. So it is a Tanzanite. And a big one. This one, I don't know what this weighs, probably 100 carat. No, it's bigger than that, actually. Oops. It's 212 carats. So should cut, if I'm lucky, 100 carat. So we'll probably get to that sometime in the next couple of months, as Michael's pushing me to do a video, and this would be a good one. Up, Jeffrey. Up next, hidden gem.
Well, hang on, before that.
Before that, oh, smoke. Well, I better get out of this.
You'll have to wait for the hidden gem because
Yes.
Mineral Mike's coming to talk to you a little bit.
Yeah, so for those of you who are new here, we also sell crystals and mineral specimens on MoreGems.com. I'm Mike, and I sell some minerals as well. But I just want to tell you guys that I just released over 200 new crystals and mineral specimens on my website, including some amazing new pyrites from Spain. So I've got, there's got to be over 20 that I just put in there, but these are amazing natural crystals that Spain produces, and they're just almost perfect cubes. Super cool conversation pieces. Every time somebody comes in and looks in my cases, these are the first things that they point out. But I've got a ton of new pyrite crystals, and not only that, I've got a lot of just various specimens that I picked up on one of our recent trips. And these are just what I'm highlighting because they're just, I think they're so cool, so unique, and totally
That's not
natural.
real.
None of these faces have been polished. Just really cool. And they're on the natural host rock. So this is kind of what they're found in. It's a type of limestone rock, but I forget what it's called. But it's hard rock now. But if you soak it in water, it gets kind of clay-like. But it's what these pyrite crystals are found in. So I wanted to tell you guys that I'm offering a special on my website right now. I haven't done this for anybody else. This is kind of a More Gems live stream special. I'm offering 10% off on all of the new crystals. The whole website is actually 10% off with the coupon code GEM. So if you find a neat crystal or mineral specimen that you like on there, just use coupon code GEM, GEM, and that'll give you 10% off site-wide. So if you're into that type of thing, or you're into gemstones and you collect those and you want to have the actual natural crystal to go with it, head on over, check those out, and hopefully you'll find something cool.
Thanks, Michael.
Yes, Mike.
Yes, and KT, those are natural. It's crazy that they came out of the earth like that.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. And that's what people say. That can't be real.
Yeah.
It's just not real. It'd be
It's
those
nuts.
perfect cubes like that and stacked up like that. Just the crazy stuff.
And do we know, I Am Superior wants to know, how does that happen? Do we have an idea how it's formed like that?
Heat and pressure, I don't know. The right conditions, I'm not exactly too sure.
How did those form? They had to form first, and the rock went around them because they didn't form in a square pocket. So
Right. Yeah.
I think it was those generators under the Egyptian pyramids that they found.
Yeah,
I think that's somehow crazy.
must have formed in a. I don't know how those could form.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know the science behind it.
Yeah.
I just know that they are cool.
I have one. Yeah, I think it's cool.
All right. Next up. Our next stone is a hidden gem. So use coupon code RARE25 to get 25% off this. You'll have to refresh to see it.
Yep. It is there now.
Yep. So it's a 3.38 karat Tanzanite. A nice emerald cut, VS1 clarity, 940 out of 1,000 rating. And it's 85% blue and 15% violet, so mostly blue gem. Appraised price of $3,680. $1,980 is the price online. And with the 25% off, it's $2,372, or $456 a carat.
And thanks everybody for, sticking around during those glitches. I think that I've solved the problem. It looks to be the stream health seems to be a little bit better, but if it happens again, I'll work on that.
It's a really nice Tanzanite. I love emerald cuts. They show the color so well. Oop. Did I do this already? I did that. So 25% off with coupon code RARE25. Up next, one of my favorites. This is a Mahenge, sometimes called Ombalite garnet, a different source. Amba Valley is in Tanzania also. This particular material is from Mahenge. Just really extraordinary color, though. I think I have a sapphire this color, which is pretty amazing for a sapphire, but the price difference is huge. Like 6 or 7 times for the sapphire. And garnet, just very, very brilliant stone. I think this is a full Portuguese round brilliant. The weight is 5.48 carats. Very clean, completely natural color, no treatments for these garnets. Appraised price on this one, $3,290. Online price, $2,190. And with the 15% off, it's $1,862 or $340 a carat. The source of Mahenge just produced colors that typically have not been available. This one included, it really is different than any of the umbellites. It's a little more violet. Just really a beautiful gem. Nice size for a ring. Make a really beautiful ring, or could make a nice pendant. All right. Back to another crystal. This is another Tanzanite, but this one's completely natural. So no heat treatment involved. Occasionally this material comes out of the ground natural. Typically we talk about this as being heated in the ground, but the color is different than most heated Tanzanites. It just looks a little different. And I always wondered about that. And I just read an article talking about maybe the true difference is the chromophores that are in it. I think they talked about maybe lack of, one of them lacks titanium in the crystal. And so it's actually different material, which I could believe that to be true.
Oh, so wouldn't you think that would be identifiable by GIA or a gem lab, or is that not?
Well, one of the labs says they can identify it.
Okay.
I'm not sure which they use to do that. They say some of them they can identify. So whether they're just using the dichroic colors of some material that they can see the color hasn't changed or exactly what they're doing. But if this is true, I'll have to get the article out and give them credit for this, at least for the study they've done. And it hasn't been proven what causes it, but they're suggesting a difference in the actual chemicals that are in the Tanzanite, which really makes sense to me, because the heat treatment in ground, why they typically look a little different, why that would be, is really the question that's always bothered me.
And wasn't that Clemens Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, yes,
was
and,
doing the
and
research.
Steve Ulatowski and another gentleman. I'm sorry, I don't have a name on top of my head, but they wrote the article, and I should be better prepared. I apologize for not having all the people's names, but they did research on what's the causes of color in different colors of Tanzanite. Interesting article. Next stone. This is a blue topaz that was cut by Linda Thierry. Good job, Linda. She loves doing Portuguese cuts.
This stone is amazing. Yeah, it was beautifully cut by Linda.
So it weighs 27.38 carats. This is a London blue color. These stones, all these deeper color blue topaz, are irradiated to produce their color. London blue is done in a atomic pile, whereas the Swiss blues and some of the other blues are done in a linear accelerator, cyclotron treated. So these they have to keep for 6 months to get the residual radiation to dissipate.
Except for the kilos that you used to carry in your suitcase, right?
Yes. That was before a time when they realized that there was residual radiation, and was even a concern back in the late 70s. Or
That's why
it was probably
Jeffrey's
early
so weird,
80s.
right?
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were born, what, 79? So, yeah, you got a little bit
I'd
of
recently
that
had a full
residual
dose
radiation.
of it. Yeah, we knew
It
he was a
shows,
little
Jeffrey.
Everybody
different.
needs some little radiation in their life. Oh, this stone is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
I
Portuguese
thought you cut
round.
it, Steve. It was-
No. Yeah, Linda did it. She did a really nice job.
Yeah, Jeffrey doesn't actually work out. He was just kind of born like that.
Yeah.
So appraised price on this, $1,350. And our price online, $990. And with the 15% off, it is that blue topaz? $842 or $31 a carat. Pretty stone. Nice pendant, just very, very bright. Could it be a ring? It's kind of a deep cut and a big stone, but sure it could. London blue topaz. Up next, another gray spinel, carat 52 pear shape. Again, from Tanzania. No treatments in this material. Appraised price $1,290. Our online price $995. And the spinel is $846 with the 15% off. So $557 a carat. Spinel, very popular stone, can be very expensive. Reds can be many thousands per carat. And the pinks also, particularly from the same source. The pinks from this source, stone this size is currently a couple thousand a carat. You get any bigger and they're $3,000-$4,000 a carat. Almost probably more than the price of what pink sapphires are.
Yeah. Again,
You get these
spinel,
pear shapes.
gray spinel. It's such a cool stone. And Steve's showing this on your hand here. For all the people that I know, a lot of people will join us throughout the show. We do have custom design services that are done by Christopher Michael, my cousin Steve's nephew. So if you find a stone on the show tonight that you would like us to custom design for you, then you can reach out to us via email, or you can give us a call tomorrow, and Alice would be happy to work with you to create a custom piece of jewelry.
So piggybacking off of that, Jeff, I know you said you would like a gray spinel. What would be your ideal shape, or would you put it in white gold, yellow gold? What would you think?
Well, for men, I mean, I like the Trilliant better. I think that would probably fit a men's ring a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I think I would go with a really clean look. So white gold or platinum.
Yeah, that'd look pretty sweet.
You know, just very, I know Dad's like, no color. But no, I like just a very clean look. Like the one I think I mentioned earlier, I got the Spessartite. So this is like you got a hot orange and you got the gold. So I think just a gray and then a white would look really good together.
Suppose you want one that big.
This size. Would be good.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen one that big. I'm sure they've come out, but I don't think we've ever had one. 3-4 carats, probably the biggest we've
I know
ever
at the
had.
shows we've looked. Because I made Amy one. She's got a gray spinel. But,
Yeah.
What about that the rough we just got? I know it's a little more bluish.
Yeah,
But,
definitely more blue.
Anything sizable to cut out of that?
Maybe 2.5 carats.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely much bluer.
And I could see some glitches going on, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I could see it.
Again.
Yeah. We got to do something about that. But, yeah. Yep. Max is saying it's glitchy.
Is a new computer going to fix that?
We're hoping so. I'm not sure what. I thought it was the camera, but it could be the internet. I'm not too sure what is causing this.
Which we did have problems with
Yeah,
Xfinity today.
I mean, it stays smooth for a while, but then it spikes and
Camera's down.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Help everybody
That's
out.
a good interruption. Thank you.
All right, Suzette, she picked up that natural spinel 0.87 carats. Great choice. I love that color. And she picked up, this may be out later. She may have shopped earlier, but a square Barian cut garnet, 2.75 carats. I don't know if that's on the show or if that's...
I don't think so.
So, hey, you can
Square
shop all
Barian.
through the site if you want. Yeah, I don't think it's on the show, but yeah, if you find anything else throughout the whole website, you can shop
Yeah,
there as
because
well.
we right now have 15% off on the website, don't we?
Tanzanite. Only
Oh,
Tanzanite.
just on Tanzanite.
Yep.
Okay.
And then also, not to stop there, but thank you, Jim. He picked up the Portuguese blue Topaz, a 27 carat.
Oh, wow.
That's just a
Cool.
cool cut. Yeah, that's going to be
Thank
a cool
you.
piece. Let us know what you're going to do with that, Jim.
All right, next up. All right, this is really nice Tanzanite just because, again, it's just so brilliant. There's no dead spots in it. Deeper color than the last one we talked about like this, but this is just is no extinction and just lively throughout. Every corner is lively. This stone weighs 13.04 carat. And on here it says it's a VS1. It's actually a VS2. There are some small inclusions in it. Difficult or impossible to see with the naked eye. I think if you lit it strong enough, maybe you could find them, but just very, very minor inclusions. Particular stone, 60% blue, 40% violet. The rating is a 970 out of 1,000. Just this cut worked really, really well. Price on this is $15,750. Our online price $8,900. Let's see, 1304. And with the 15% off, it's $75, $65, or $580 a carat.
Okay, we had a couple questions, Steve.
Uh-huh.
Vicky said, and I believe we addressed this in the last show, with the price of gold going up, why is platinum less expensive than gold? Why? Yeah, why?
Got me. That's why I've been buying some platinum. Platinum typically is, through my time in business, has been twice the price of gold. Whether there's less usage, particularly automobile industry used a lot of platinum in the converters, the catalytic converters. And I'm not sure if they're using less in there or there's just less usage of platinum at the moment. Yeah, they use rhodium in there too. Both rhodium and platinum. I think both of them are used. At least it used to be that. So whether that's the issue is less usage, but there's many scientific usages of it. And if they find another need for it, I just think platinum is rare enough that it could easily go up significantly in price. It's pretty much stayed stable in that $900 to $1,000 price for quite some time now. So I've bought myself some platinum and gold. Don't know what the future of gold is. I keep thinking it's going to stop, but now we're up to over $3,200 an ounce.
Did it hit 3,300 today?
Did it? It could have. I don't know. I know it was over 32 earlier this week, but
I think we just glitched out pretty bad. I was on it. It pushed me to the next video.
Really?
Yeah. So it looks like, it's jumping around. So guys, we're probably having some glitching again.
I mean, the stream health is showing pretty well, but
yeah,
it may have
dropped down for a sec there. Okay. Oh, and Max was asking, where do you buy platinum?
Where do you buy platinum? Well, you can check AppMex. I have one of our suppliers that I bought from, but I think AppMex has been pretty close.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the premium is now. You'll probably pay an extra $100 over the price of platinum to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One other question. G2 wants to know any news on the availability. Any news on the availability on color change Turkish diaspora from Tucson or Bangkok when you were there?
I haven't seen much. I don't know what's going on with it. I know there's been disputes over the mines and Zoltanite is who I used to deal with, and now they're pretty much a manufacturing company. But I haven't seen much Zoltanite at all, so I don't know if they're currently mining or not. Some of the more reddish form of Zoltanite, which I'm not sure what they're calling it, whether it's just a more pink diaspore. I've seen that on occasion, but not very often. It's just been a stone that just has not been available, and I haven't followed it close enough to be able to tell you what the whole situation is with it. I used to know the mine owner, but I'm not sure that he's still functioning as the owner of the mine. So, sorry, I can't help you much. You can check the website Zoltanite and see what their availability is.
All right, one more sale. Get in here before
All
you go on. Michelle picked up the round Portuguese cut garnet,
Oh, cool.
5.48 carat.
Yeah, you're
Beautiful
gonna love
color.
it.
That's a beauty.
Yeah, it's a rare color. Believe
Thank
me.
you, Michelle.
Yeah. I don't know. This the next opal. What was the other opal that sold? Is this one still available? Okay. So this is really a top crystal opal, and again, just amazing colors in it. There's not a dead spot in this stone. Just intense color. Front and back. Weighs 13.12 carats. And it is crystal opal because you can literally read through it. And in Australia, crystal opal is valued because it is very difficult to have this clear body color and still show intense colors. Ethiopia has produced quite a bit of it, but not much with this kind of quality. Just so much blues and the violets, indigos, yellows.
And KT, the care aspect of it, you kind of get used to it. I've had a Ethiopian opal ring for years and years now. It's just getting used to taking it off, in certain circumstances. So I have it in a ring. If I'm going to wash my hands or doing anything with my hands, I make sure to remove the ring. And yeah, I wear it on more or less special occasions. I don't wear it every single day as a ring just because it's on my hands. But yeah, if you understand the material, I don't think it's an issue. Just, you just kind of got to, it's the last thing you put on after you get dressed and get ready, and the first thing you take off when you come home. So that's kind of how I've done it and kept my opal just as good as it looked when I first got it.
Yeah, and I had the same experience. Unfortunately, I misplaced it somewhere. Haven't quite figured that out, but it's something you just learn to take care of it and be a little more careful with opal. Well, opal from any source you have to be more careful with. They're not the most durable stone on the planet, but man, they're just amazing. And to get these kind of sizes for this kind of price, this Ethiopian opal is the bargain in opals for sure. And you see that kind of color. There's no place on the planet that you get more vivid colors than this. It's rare to find an Australian opal that looks like this. So it's $13.90 is well $23.70 is the appraised price on that opal. $13.90 our price online with the 15% off. It's $1,182 or $90 a carat. All right, another sale. Cool.
Yes. So Roger shopped ahead. Everybody's shopping ahead tonight.
Yeah, well, they're
That's fine.
smart. Yeah,
Yeah. I know it is smart. Yeah, wait, get ahead of the line. He picked up the pair of pear-shaped brilliant aquamarines, 2.47 or 2.78 carats.
Well, that was next up.
I think we have a single one, and then we have
Yeah, we still have single one's next up, but the pair was after that.
Yeah, the pair. That's a cool
nice
shape.
Pair. Yeah, it'll make something unique, whether you do a ring and pendant or pair of earrings, big, beautiful drop pair earrings.
Yeah.
So much you can do with it. You know, again, these are the shapes I love. And if you know, I look at jewelry and see things online, and the things that attract me are these long shapes because they just come out unique when you with whatever you do with them, you know. So this stone up, which was a match for the pair that was just picked up, 3.28 carat. These come from Madagascar. It says they're heated, but I'm not sure they're heated. You know, do we know for sure on this, Michael? I'm not sure we knew it all.
We're not sure on this one.
Yeah, we should check because they're, although in aquas, you know, it's nice that they're not heated, but it generally doesn't affect the price a lot. Although it should, you know, and I'm sure in sometime in the future that most gems are more valued as not heated, and we definitely psychologically like them not to be heated, but so much aqua is. I mean, a high percentage of all the aquas that are produced are heated. You know, Madagascar, our source Madagascar, generally is not heated, but I couldn't tell you what these stones. You know, sometimes you can see the little bit of green that's in them. That will be a pretty much a good indication that they're not heated. Which is not true for this stone. That's why I noted heat, because it is possible. You know, I'll try and do a little research and from our supplier and see if they can remember, because we bought these last fall.
Yeah, we bought it in Hong Kong.
Yeah. Our last purchase.
It was, before we left.
Yeah. So another one, this will produce a nice pendant. Yeah. And a ring.
Colleen would like to see it on the hand.
Yeah. Even on my hand, it's long enough. Or looks long. You know.
On hand of the hand.
Almost knuckle to knuckle, but you know, just so many things you can do with it. It's just so easy to make a beautiful ring out of it. So this aqua weighs 3.28 carats, $27.55 is the appraised price, $16.90 is our price online. 15% off brings it down to $1,437 or $438 a carat.
They want to see it on necky.
On necky. My necky?
We have a neck.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, it's right here. Why don't you grab it, Mike? Is that a good neck or is that a bad neck? It's kind of like a neck.
Yeah, kind of.
We have a better
it's
neck.
a necky-ish.
Yeah, it's not much.
It's not going to help
yeah.
much.
Don't we have a really good one?
I don't think so.
Well, we
just
have
need
a big mannequin.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going on Amazon buying a mannequin.
And it's probably pictured online on, well, maybe not on that neck, is it? Yeah. Let's see if I can find that interesting crystal. Here's. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Well, it makes sense because it'd make a fantastic set.
Awesome. Yeah. Beautiful set. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to show you a crystal something that's no longer available. Oop, where are we at here? So this is the last piece. Well, it's not the last piece. This is the last fine piece of Rwanda amethyst that I have. I've cut several pieces off of this, and this is the last chunk I have. These were found in 2016, lasted for maybe 9 months, and the material was gone. So one of these days I'll
Show it the size of it.
saw
With
this.
you,
Yeah.
Light it up.
I don't know how big it was originally, but it was a pretty big stone.
You put the light. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and the Rwanda did have fantastic color. You know, the stuff I've got from Brazil, Bahia, Brazil is close, but all people consider the Rwanda as being probably the finest that ever came out of the ground.
Put it in front of your face and in the camera. Yeah. There you go. I don't know.
Just really strong pleochroic colors. So for the future.
See, there's a question earlier, I guess, talking about cutting and everything, and you discussed the aquamarine that we were just talking about, how you like the long, straight angles of the cuts, a little bit different. I think there was a gentleman that was asking about that kite-shaped tanzanite.
Uh-huh.
Like, what made you cut it in that shape? You know, it's kind of a unique cut.
Totally the shape of the rough. It was best yield, you know, and that's pretty much what determines what you're going to cut. You know, you try and get good symmetry and ideally not too long, although our next stone up is a long stone. It's harder to cut a long stone and get really good brilliance out of it. But this cut works really well in this particular stone. You know, and it was based on yield also. You know, although this stone I cut 3 times. It was
There was some cussing I heard in the back.
yeah, there was
Steve. You were
definitely
saying
some
bad
cussing.
words.
Yeah, I think I shocked my employees because as I was cutting it and almost finished with the pavilion, it just fractured. You know, actually it was the crown. I was almost done with the whole stone and just a big chunk came out of the crown. So there was something in there that caused the issue, but it popped out. And, you know, I was looking at the stone thinking, oh, this is a really cool cut I've done, which the cut was difficult. And it fractured, and so I had to recut the stone. I still kept the same cut, unfortunately, because in the end, that cut really didn't work. I mean, it was something I worked so hard on. It was such a dramatic looking cut. And I thought, wow, I really thought it could be great or it could not be great. And it definitely was not great because it just didn't have life. After I cooked the stone, it was lifeless. So I went back to a cut I know works, and I was able to get really good yield. I lost 2 carats. I lost $1,000 out of the stone, but you know, it came out right, and this cut just works. I've cut it many times. You've seen it in previous shows, things similar to this, and it's just a cut for this shape that just has really good brilliance and is just a pleasing look. You know, just good life, and just shows the color real well. And this one worked out real well. So I was happy, not happy cutting it 3 times, but happy with the final result. So it's
there was
11.
a lot of emotion put into this stone.
Yeah, a lot of emotion, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Steve yelled at it.
Yeah. It
I wonder
learned
if that
new
was an
words.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I broke the 100-carat Tanzanite, my kids, who were pretty young at
Was
the
that the
time,
heater?
learned some new
The
words.
oven? Was that the oven one?
No, that was just in transferring it, just the heat of transfer, and it fractured. So it was a 100-carat stone and ended up a 25-carat. So I do tend to get a little verbal when things like that happen.
You piece of Tanzanite. You just piece of Tanzanite.
So this is a 11.93 carat, rating of 970 out of 1,000. So very high rated stone. It's 70% blue, 30% violet. So definitely on the blue side. Appraised price $15,600. Online price $77.50. And with the 15% off, $65.86 or $552 a carat.
Do it again.
Get my hand. So a nice pendant size and would make a great ring too.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I think it was worth it, Steve. Don't you?
Worth the effort, yeah. I should have done this cut to start with, but you always want to try a new cut, and
Sometimes it works, and
sometimes it
You've
works.
done- you've made a lot of them work,
Sometimes it
so.
does. Yeah, many work. And I really thought this one was going to, but it was a dead dog for sure. Dead dog. It was a dud.
Good.
Yeah.
For a question, Kenneth wants to know, am I correct that most African aquamarines are not heat treated, while most Brazilian or South American ones are?
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good statement. Yes. You can't rely on that, but the things I find, which we've got a couple more aquas coming here that are from Zimbabwe. No heat treatment there. It used to be that the countries in Africa really didn't have the knowledge to treat them, but you can't trust that anymore. Heat treatment is not that difficult. They often don't have the equipment to do it. Because still it's my ovens are $3,000, and you can heat them in a fire, but that's a little risky. And the treatment of aquas, a fire would probably be enough heat to do it. They're typically, I think, maybe in the 900-degree range Fahrenheit. So definitely within the range of a fire.
And Steve, Jim Scott said he's going to be ordering an Ultratech as soon as he's sure he can source some rough. Do you have any good suggestions of reputable rough dealers that you could suggest for him?
Yeah, I mean, John Garso. I've ordered some things from Joe Hanley, Matthew Milstead, New Era Gems. They're all rough suppliers. Sporadic availability, and the price of rough is getting more and more difficult. But that said, the price of rough goes pretty much along with the price of the cut stones. So, it's always something you can still make money on. It is not easy to source rough, but if you can get to the shows, there's a lot of people that have rough at the Gemshows, Tucson, Denver show. There's a lot of small shows around that you'll find rough at. But there's a lot of crooks out there too, so you have to be careful buying online, and finding somebody you can trust is not easy.
Jeffrey. Gems.
All right.
Gem coming?
Next setup is a set of hidden gems.
All right. So everybody that's new. So right now, this hidden gem was hidden. It is now live on the website. So if you go to MoreGems.com and you go to that collection of gems from the show, or if you're already there, just hit refresh and it's going to show up at the top. And these will be 25% off with coupon code RARE25 at checkout.
So these are beautifully cut peridot. These come from Pakistan. These are kind of more of a mint color than what you typically see as far as peridot. They don't have that yellow coloration. And I think So these weigh 8.36 carat. No treatment for peridots. And I just saw a video that kind of surprised me of people taking peridot and putting them directly in a flame. And they had no damage to the stones.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, which was kind of cool because, it now opens up using a little more heat when you can easily dop with wax, which the problem I had with that big Tanzanite I talked about was dopping with wax and just the heat of the transfer using wax caused the stone to fracture. So it's good to know the stones that you can add heat to. So when you dop stones up, either using epoxies or super glue or waxes, knowing whether you can apply heat to it, which is generally used to remove the stones from the dop sticks. It's good to know. Sapphires are no problem with heat. There are stones that you don't have issues. Zircons will take heat, no problem. So it's good to know that peridots do too, because it opens up your options during cutting is when you're using heat in the transfer of stones.
So was it 10 carat peridot that they put a torch
It
to?
was 3 carat at least.
Okay.
It was about like these.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, they put
They
the
torched
torch
it,
right
really.
to it.
I feel like I've seen them on Instagram or something that they've been kind of doing that to certain stones.
Yeah, I'd
test
like to see it more. So it does help in cutting stones that you can use heat on stones. So it just opens up your options for dopping and transferring and removing stones from the dop. Applying heat to them, that's not going to cause a fracture. So these peridots from Pakistan, praised price of $39.30. Our price online $18.95, and with the 25% off, it's $1,421 or $170 a carat. These definitely have the more minty color, which I've often related it to Marilani mint garnets. They're somewhat similar to those at a much bargain price in comparison. Marilani mints this size are $3,000 a carat. So peridots from Pakistan are definitely a reasonable option in this color range. So nice pair for ring and pendant design, or definitely earrings. So again, if you're not finding them, refresh your browser and you'll see that they show up.
You know what? You've got about 5 other hidden gems. Do you want to release those as well right now? Jeffrey, have you released those other ones?
No.
Okay, so I know we've got 1 hidden gem remaining, which we'll still have that one, but Steve's got a few other gems up his sleeve that I think we can go ahead and release right now.
Yeah, some of these I added just because I've had them for a long time. They're great stones, but for some reason haven't sold. I haven't had this one a long time, but it's just a big ammolite, and just great color, great material, just clean for as far as the amount of cracking in it, which is typical in ammonites because ammonites, because they're generally, the shells are crushed under heavy overburden, and it does crack the shells. Yeah, I mean, you can see where the cracks are, but this one's very, very limited and nice clean surface and just beautiful colors. Big piece.
And all these are now, if you are on MoreGems.com and you go to the collection of all the gems on the show tonight, if you do refresh the page and scroll towards the bottom, you're going to see 5 more new gems that are all 25% off with coupon code RARE 25.
So that was a 63 karat ammolite. And here's a peridot. This one is 8.74 carat. These weren't really part of the show, but this is really nice imperial zircon, just great color. 3.14 carat, 470, less than 25%. And a big blue zircon that's just really an incredible stone that, I've had it for a long time. I don't know why. Just because it's so big, and which makes it somewhat pricey, but the color is just extraordinary. This one's over 13 karat, but $4,950, but less 25, so drop $1,000 off that. And a monster opal. This one I love. It's just amazing, and the size of it. 81.60 carats. Probably, I don't know if it is the biggest one I've ever owned, but it probably is. Look at the colors. So I recently dropped the price. I think it was $10,900, and it's down to $89.90, and now we're going to take 25% off that. So it makes it a pretty reasonable price per carat for an unbelievable opal. Look at that thing. Jeez.
I'm going to show the size of it.
Sure. That'll make a statement. And I don't know, is that it?
Just to jump in here, Roger picked up I don't think we talked about it yet, but the pear-shaped brilliant cut aquamarine 3.25 carats.
All right. That's a stone from Zimbabwe.
All right.
Untreated.
Untreated too, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
And they're approaching the Santa Maria color. I'm not going to call them Santa Maria, but they are definitely very, very deep color for aquamarine.
Thank you, Roger.
Yes, Roger, thanks. All right, up next, another incredible opal.
So I have this one available, 1089.
Yes.
Surprised. Well, that's pretty extraordinary color. And it's not a camera trick. It really is what this opal looks like. It's another crystal opal, color throughout. Whoop.
Doing tricks.
Yeah. Come on. Really nice high dome. I mean, you can just see the colors from the side. Jesus. And this, it used to be in the past when you saw an opal that had these vertical bars like that, you just say, it's Gilson synthetic. But the Ethiopian opal made that identification a little more difficult because they have these vertical bars. When you look at them from the top, some of them just have these hexagonal, called honeycomb pattern from the top, and it just runs as a line directly down through the stone and produces these vertical color bars, which, like I said, used to be a sign of Gilson synthetic in the past.
Steve, do you have that other crystal opal readily available? Somebody wants to see them side by side.
Sure. I assume this is the one. Oops. And if I put them on black, I'm sure they'll. And there's how we typically show opals on black, but these don't really need it. They're such intense colors that no black needed. So that one weighs, got them mixed up, 1089, price $22.90. Our price online, $1,525. Where are we at? With the 15% off, it's $1,296 or $119 a carat. I think it's probably the most expensive white crystal opal that I have, but there's good reason for it. It just phenomenal color. That video looks a little out of focus.
A little bit.
Yeah. Phew. That's crazy. Guess I didn't show it on hand or anything.
A bit closer to the camera with that hand. Good.
Closer to the camera. Let's see if I can get it in a... Is that good?
Oh yeah.
All right. Before I get to that, here's one more future cut stone. Oh, that light's a bit much. So this is a big sunstone. How big this one is. This one weighs 19.6 grams, almost 100 carat sunstone. And just, these are usually very, the color is just in a small percentage of the stone and you get very poor yield out of them. But this has got a big color patch. There's almost very little colorless areas. So this should be a really good yield, maybe a 40 carat.
No schiller.
No schiller. Yeah, so to make a good faceted gem. Yeah, no schiller in it. Yeah, I think this is. Schiller, some people find interesting. Good for a cabochon maybe, but schiller in a faceted stone just disrupts the brilliance. Okay, next one up, peridot.
Jumping in with the sale here. I believe, okay, this is one just because you were just talking about it. Moiza picked up the pear-shaped cabochon crystal, 10.89 carat.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely one of the finest I've ever owned. As all these opals tonight they're the best of what I've ever owned. That's things that I've collected, I said, for years and just finally released them. I've bought so much opal over the last 15 years. I used to cut it, but it got to the point that the Ethiopians were cutting all the best of it. So we just started buying cut stones. So much easier, so much less mistakes, and you can see what you're getting, unlike buying a piece of rough, as a crapshoot in the opal business. So we've been buying so much cut opal, and I've just been creaming off the top of it and pretty much released all the best now. This is pretty much the last of what I've collected. So time to start collecting again.
And talking about opal rough, if there are any cutters out there, I do have some opal rough for sale on mineralmike.com. A lot of stuff that we would cut ourselves or we would select to cut, but I offer it as either specimen for the mineral collector, or it doubles as facet or cabochon rough. So there's a lot of unique and intense color pieces on there. And right now, as I said earlier, I'm offering 10% site-wide on mineralmike.com with coupon code GEM, GEM. So if you're into opals and maybe you want to even just a rough specimen, there's a ton of them on there.
Okay, this is the next one up, a 4.57 oval peridot. I didn't cut it, but they did a beautiful job of cutting. Portuguese style pavilion. And the crown is more of a brilliant style, although they've added an extra row in it. Just gives you excellent brilliance. So price on this one, $2,145. Peridot does appraise high. It is, like blue zircons, one of our best sources is peridot. That comes direct from Pakistan, and we just have really, really good prices on peridot. This one's $825 is our price online. And with the 15% off, it's $701 or $153 a carat.
Steve Kenneth asks, are all peridot susceptible to reaction with acids found in many household cleaners?
No, not in household cleaners. It is not my knowledge that there's nothing. If you can put your hand in it, you can put a peridot in it. I don't know what acids will affect it. I know the acids we use in the jewelry business,
Well,
we managed to damage one ourselves.
and what about the pickle? I mean,
The
it's a
pickle is
mild
where-
acid, but
Well, the pickle, you don't want to put your hand in the pickle.
yeah.
It is originally was sulfuric acid.
Okay.
I don't know what's in our pickle currently. I don't know that it is acid, is it? I think they've replaced it with something else.
I'm not sure.
We used to use sulfuric acid, and we have had issues with putting a peridot in there. We only did it once because it just frosts the surface. But I can't imagine the weak acids. I mean, what would weak acids we use at home? Vinegar? It's not going to do anything to it. I don't know if you left it in there for a year, would vinegar be enough to etch the surface? I don't believe so, but I don't know that to be a fact. But short time and any household cleaner, I do not believe will affect a peridot. Yeah. Bleach? No. It's just acids. What acid besides vinegar do we use at home?
Pine salt.
I don't, it's vinegar, I think. I don't know.
Muriatic acid.
We use it in swimming pools. We use it to clean concrete. Yes, I wouldn't use muriatic acid. I wouldn't put peridot in there either. So,
What other household cleaners are there, chat?
yeah, that are acids. I'll have to get vinegar out and put a peridot in there and sacrifice it and see if it does any damage.
Will it damage?
It's a good question. Good question.
Yeah.
Because they do react to acids, but how weak of acid would they react to? That's a good question.
Did you show the size of this one?
Oh, yeah. You can see that nice minty color. The camera is not set up to really, the camera we were using before is not set up really to display the color of these peridots, but they're just really a beautiful minty green color. Sale.
Yes. Martha F. picked up the 11.99 carat opal.
All right.
All your, man,
Oh, they're just great opals.
these opals, killing
it's-
it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Martha.
And I think we have another opal coming up. Is it up next? It is.
Is 2270 still available? No.
Oh,
2270.
okay. This one's sold. We'll give you a quick look at it. Again, just intense colors. And the reds in these are just remarkable. In Australian, the red is what makes a real value in Australian opal because it's pretty rare to get good reds in Australian opal. Much more common in Ethiopia. Quite often they're more orangey, but these have good intense reds. This has got really intense reds in it.
All right, so MBF came back with some toilet cleaners are very acidic. Descalers are acid, citric acid or lactic acid, and some mold removers are acidic. So maybe
Not things we typically would put our hands in.
yeah. Well, you never know, or you don't think about it. You're doing something, you're like, I just want to get this chore done, and then
But
your
it's
hands
going
get in
to
it.
burn your hand too. Yeah.
Uh,
So we'll have to try it. We'll have to see what. So yeah, I wonder what the most caustic would be of those. If you have any knowledge of that, we'll give it a try and Although, it's not something that you're going to typically put your jewelry in because it's going to damage your hand too. But it'd be interesting to try it because I know acids do affect that, and they can affect garnets too. Garnets less, but a garnet like this you put into the pickle, which again is sulfuric acid. And didn't we have issue with garnet in the pickle?
I don't know about garnet. Apatite for sure.
Yeah, no appetites.
But I don't recall garnet. It may have happened. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if garnet's an issue with strong acids. But anyway, this is a great garnet. This we categorize as a rhodolite, but it's a really, really fine rhodolite. So Linda cut this one also. Another nice job, Linda. This one's a little more violet than the camera's showing, but you can see the kind of brilliance it has. This we did a step cut crown and a 16 mains pavilion, which is a cut that does real nice for brilliance. This is something that I think is generally unique to us. This is a cut I started doing. We're going to cut an amethyst next like this, but with a Portuguese crown rather than a step cut crown. That's what's up for Linda next. Wonder what other setting would give us this more violet color, Mike. You think L? Color on this just isn't. No, that didn't work.
Portrait.
Maybe.
Yes. No.
There's some setting I got the right color on it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
no,
closer. Well, it's closer,
Yeah.
but it's not that. That's like, yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah, it's closer. But anyway, trust the picture and video. We do everything possible to get the quality of our pictures and videos to be accurate for the stones. You can't hit it 100% of the time, but we're very good at hitting it remarkably close. Yeah. This is really a beautiful garnet.
Show it down the hand.
This. Did it focus?
Yeah.
It looked like it got the color a little better.
This is similar to the one that sold earlier, right?
It's darker, deeper color.
Yep.
But still for rhodolite color, this
cool.
is a really open color and just a beautiful color. Happy with that one.
Describe what open color is.
Open color is, again, we talked about extinction. Open color is no extinction or little extinction, meaning that it has full brilliance. It's not black, non-open color means it's more to the black. There's just no life to it. Yeah. Here's a piece of rough. Coming up in the future, this is really a great rhodolite. This will be a nice big stone, super color. This will be closer to the earlier stone, probably somewhere between the two. That real violety pink. And a big stone. I don't know, this one, probably going to cut a 15 carat.
Show us that piece of rough in there. Yeah.
You can see just how pink it is. And it's very, very difficult to get large pieces like this with lighter color.
Yeah, somebody on one of the social media said they had met you in Tucson one time, and you were kind of going through some garnet rough, and you told them, don't light it from the back, hold the rough in your hand, and if it's still got color, it's probably good. Don't trust it backlit or
Yep.
on a mirror. Um,
It
and he really appreciated that.
Yeah. Well, it
That
was
tip.
the first mistake I made in the business. I bought a big piece like this one that I did. You hold the light up to the back of it, and my God, it's just this one bright pink. But that one I bought, it looked like the right color that was going to cut a color like this stone we're showing right now, but it just cut black as coal. So it was a quick learning lesson. Yeah, you look down on it and either on a piece of paper, hold it in your hand, like Michael said, and if it's still showing color, then it has potential to be a good stone. A life lesson. All right, and I think up next is our last hidden gem.
The gem is here. All right.
And
For everybody that's just joining us, otherwise you're going to hear me say this again. If you go to MoreGems.com right now and you go to the page that lists all of the stones from the show tonight, just hit refresh and this stone will appear at the top of the list. You can use coupon code RARE25 at the checkout and you'll get an additional 25% off that price. There is only one.
And I could probably call this Santa Maria color, and I don't think I'd get too much objection because it is just a really, really intense color for aquamarine. Aqua is just typically light to pale to almost colorless, but this material that comes from Zimbabwe, which I don't know I've ever had aquas from Zimbabwe. Where do they live? Do they live in Zimbabwe? The supplier, yeah. So our supplier lives in Zimbabwe, and we just got to know him in the last few years, and Michael's bought some really nice crystals from him, and I got these aquas, which were just remarkable. So this one weighs 7 carat. Appraised price $84.80. Our price online of $54.80. And with the 25% off, this stone is $41.10 or $587 a carat. It's really a beautiful aquamarine. Really great ring size.
Not too sure where in Zimbabwe they're finding these. Do we know?
No, I don't. Just have so little experience with Zimbabwe. And no treatment again for these. So the earlier statement of African stones are more typically untreated. That's why I say it is, there is a lot of truth to that. And they just produce stones that are beautiful untreated, whereas a lot of the Brazilian material has a green secondary color. Sometimes green can be attractive. You get a seafoam looking green color aqua. It's a very pretty stone. But many of the aquas from Brazil, the secondary green is not attractive. And so they heat it. It takes away the yellow color that's causing the green. And you get this beautiful blue gem.
So Phil asks, is there a test that you can tell if aqua is treated or not? Would it be the dichroscope?
Well, the dichroscope definitely helps. Sometimes you can see that secondary yellow coloration. You can sometimes look at them and see just that bit of green color. I can't see it in this one. I'm not sure what GIA would use to identify untreated. But I don't know if this one, if I could. Quickly see if I can see the yellow coloration with a microscope.
So as you're using it, tell everybody what this microscope is and what you're doing.
Well, the microscope will separate the dichroic colors into two windows. It's a little complicated because my light, I have to hold the. I need a second hand.
Do you need assistance?
Yeah. Can you just. That may be too bright. So bright.
So as Steve's looking at this, if you haven't already, we'd love it if you gave us a thumbs up. If you're enjoying the video, feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more gem and jewelry content. And ring the bell if you want to get alerts for when we go live or post new videos.
So it does show me a blue and green window, which I would guess would be an identifying characteristic for it being unheated, because that green, I think if we heated it, would absolutely would, in my estimation, go away. Just it showing a secondary green color. I'm looking for yellow, but it's showing green. But the green is that yellow coloration causing it. So I believe that would be a test to tell you that it is natural. I don't know that to be scientifically proof, but I believe that would be enough to tell me that this is a natural gem. But I'll do a little more research on it and see what I can find out.
You showed the size of this one, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
I gave the price and everything. Aqua 7.
With this one's, sorry, go ahead and tell. I think Corey wanted this. I believe it's this stone versus the aqua or versus the blue zircon. It's also the hidden gem.
The big one?
Big one.
You can put those two next to each other.
Sure. The blue zircon will definitely be deeper. Where's it at?
And your thoughts, I guess.
As far as
He's good. Wants to compare the two. And what are your thoughts on the blue zircon versus the aqua?
well, that's two different things, both extraordinary stones, both the best of what they are. But of course the blue zircon color-wise just blows the aqua away. You'll never find an aqua this color unless it was irradiated. But for an aqua, that's pretty incredible to even look anywhere close to what a blue zircon does. Get this cloth.
The bottom one's the aqua, correct? The larger one.
The larger looking one, yeah, it weighs less. The zircon weighs double what the aqua does. So there you can see better the difference. But the aqua is pretty remarkable aqua, but the blue zircon is too. I mean, hard to find a blue zircon much darker than that. And the same for the aquamarine. Which of the two stones is better for quality price? There isn't a better in this case.
It's got 2 top gems
Yep.
of each type.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, that's as good as you get in either one of them.
Both of them can be worn in pendants.
Yep, they're both hard. You know, similar hardness in both stones. Blue zircon's a little tendency to facet edge chipping. You find a stone that's 50 years old and you can almost identify it because the facet edges get these little tiny chips in them. You know, whereas aquamarine doesn't have that issue, but you know, they're still both very, very durable stones. Yeah, it's 2 top quality gems in 2 different species. Yeah.
And the brilliance on the zircon will be a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely more brilliant. Yes, high refractive index. You know, refractive index determines brilliance. Blue zircon is 181, and aquamarine is 158. So big difference in refractive index, so big difference in the brilliance, which you can see. But the aqua is really nicely brilliant. So both cool stones. So I'm sorry I don't have a definitive answer for you there, but that's a tough one. You know, there is no better in this case. If you're looking for deeper color, obviously the zircon, or more brilliance, the zircon. 2 things the zircon has over it. And I think the price is probably similar on these. But both beautiful gems.
And setting wise, it may be a little bit different depending on the type of mounting you want, because the blue zircon is going to be deeper. I don't know if Steve showed the depth of it, versus the aqua, which will have a little bit of a, not much on this in this case, but sometimes blue zircons can be deep.
Yeah, definitely deeper. This is a deep cut. But aquamarine, you have to cut deeper because of the low refractive index. You know, but definitely a difference in the depth, but not an issue really in setting. You know, we're about probably 2 millimeters difference in depth on the stones, but and yeah, it just depends what you're after. I mean, the blue zircon it's, if you're looking for brilliance and depth of color, I mean, it has it over the aqua, but you know, the aqua for what it is just a remarkable stone. So don't have an answer for you. You just have to decide what pleases you more. So the next stone is sold. That was an aquamarine.
Is $11.99 still available? Opal?
This one sold too.
Let me see. Yes, that
All right.
$11.99 sold, and the pear-shaped spessartite garnet sold.
Yeah, this was a pretty phenomenal stone too. And this is, would I call this a semi-black? I don't know. I don't think I did, but it's approaching being a semi-black. And semi-black just means it's just not dark enough to call it a black, but it has a darker tone body color, which this does, but not quite. Just beautiful, beautiful opal. For future cutting, this is a green Tanzanite, which I have quite a few greens to cut. Fortunately, when this particular pocket came out, I had a parcel offered to me, and I did take the whole parcel because it's so rare to get these green colors. The greens, the last time they were available was probably back in the 1980s, probably 1980s. So it just doesn't come along very often. So we'll be cutting those for at least the next year or maybe two. So. You had a question there, Michael?
Yeah, I was going to see if you could introduce Alice to talk about her Alice in Gemland show too while everybody's still here.
Oh, sure. So coming up, I'm not sure exactly when.
It's on the YouTube channel. I don't know. I don't have that information offhand, but it'll be coming up.
Oh, okay. Alice Reynolds, many of you who deal with us all know Alice because she's the one that's the most help for all your needs here at More Gems. And Alice, go ahead, take it away and tell us about your upcoming shows.
Thanks, Steve. Hi, I'm Alice, and I am the graduate gemologist here at Moriarty's Gem Art, and I am the host of Alice in Gemland, where we debut the newly designed and pieces that we've made, so you can be the first ones to see them before they hit the website. So when you're looking at our YouTube at More Gems, take a look and click notify me so you know when my upcoming show is. And I hope to see you all there. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Alice. Yeah, we hope you'll join Alice. She'll be showing you some great jewelry that we produce. Another sale?
He's doing a sale here.
All right.
Want to guess what kind of stone it is?
We have any more opals?
It's a pear-shaped cab, 13.12 karat opal, sold to Dennis.
All right. Did
Thank
that
you,
finish
Dennis.
the opals?
Oh, thank you, Dennis.
Did that finish all the opals? Maybe.
I think. Except for I think the 81 carat's still available.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a remarkable stone. Somebody should buy that one. You know, it's gotten to be priced really well because it is definitely amongst my favorites, and I've had it for some time, and I just think it's a fantastic stone. You know, like I said, I've dropped the price significantly on it, and then we're taking 25 off just because I've had it for long enough and time to move on. And, you know, I haven't seen stones this big for years, you know, so it is a special piece.
Can you show it one more time?
Sure. One of those that you become attached to, but you know, and it really is a nice milk white. You know, this just looks like the finest of Australian opals. And I can guarantee you, you couldn't buy an Australian like this for under 500 a carat. And it could be 1,000 a carat. Pretty amazing.
All right, we got anything else to show, or?
Just one fun thing, I guess.
If anybody's got any questions before the end of the show, please post them in the live chat, and we'll ask Steve before we end this.
Here's one of the few highlight opals I have left. And this one, in the center of it, there is a stone that's cut worthy. That's probably a couple carat stone, which, you know, this material has been gone for many years. The source in Zacatecas, Mexico, has been played out completely. So it's a rare gem that is daylight fluorescence is its unique character. and really has high value when you cut a stone clean or not even clean. It's just a very high value piece because of the daylight fluorescence. Unique piece. We'll try and cut one here in the next several months. So, yeah, I think that's all I have.
All right.
Thank everybody for a good show.
Yeah, this was a great show.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
everyone.
watching. Hopefully, all the newcomers tonight. We usually have these shows once a month. If you do go to our website and subscribe there, or if you hit the bell here and hit subscribe, you'll be notified of all of our upcoming shows, as well as we put out a lot of educational videos, which you can check out in our channel. And we also, when we release new pieces, we show the videos on the channel as well. Again, if you want to purchase any of the stones tonight, you can always go to MoreGems.com. 15% off shown up in cart. There's also the Rare 25 coupon code and the blue light specials. You can pay with credit card, PayPal. We have Affirm financing, or we also do layaway. So you just have to give us a call tomorrow, which is a phone number on our website, and you can schedule layaway. And I believe it's 20% down to hold a stone for layaway. Outside of that, I guess take it away, Steve.
All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. I'm Steve Moriarty with Jeff and Michael Moriarty. Keep on gemmin'.
Let's go, like the stage is set. Rare gemstones you won't forget. Colors so bold, they steal the scene. A world of brilliance, crisp and clean. On the MoreGems show, where treasures shine. A moment of beauty, a spark divine. Cut to perfection. Glowing with pride, step into the wonder, come inside. Come inside, oh. The finest gems, each one a star, from places distant and lands afar. Shapes that shimmer, hues that play. This is your chance, it's Gem Drop Day. So see the light in every stone, crafted by hands, each one alone. A fleeting glimpse, don't let it fade. Gems like these are never remade. On the MoreGems show, where treasures shine. Where treasures shine. A moment of beauty, a spark divine. Spark divine. Cut to perfection, glowing with pride. Step into the wonder, come inside. No, come inside, no. It's the MoreGems show, a dazzling view, where every gemstone waits for you. Welcome to the MoreGems show. Let's go! On the MoreGems show, where treasures shine. Where treasures shine. A moment of beauty, spark divine. Spark divine. Cut to perfection, glowing with pride. Step into the wonder, come inside. Learn inside, yo. It's the MoreGems show, a dazzling view, where every gemstone waits for you.